Let's bring Alex on. We're going to hear from Alex and really what her experience has been. And I'm grateful that she's here today. Good morning, Alex. Thanks for
Good
joining.
morning, Danielle. Thanks for having me.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I always feel so good when I see you.
Alexandra is a real estate agent, and I just love following you on social media. You're like, you can feel it as soon as she got on. She has such incredible, powerful, positive energy. And Alexandra has just, oh gosh, you were just also another person that was so coachable throughout this program. And what I realized about you is that you knew and understood this already. Like you were doing some of these practices,
Yeah.
didn't really know what you were doing.
Yeah.
Right?
You
So,
helped focus all of this energy.
yeah, that's good. So tell me about where you were before you and I met. What were your experience of life? What was your experience?
Yeah, I think I felt stuck. I was sort of earning the same thing 3 years in a row and, always worried about where my next client and where my next paycheck was going to come from. And I kept pulling it off, but I wasn't really thriving and it was very stressful. And so I was trying to, find a way to do more than what I was doing.
So that's interesting. So your first clue that you were stuck was that your income had stayed the same for 3 years in a row. And
Yes.
it was a good income though. You were successful.
Yeah, it was good for sure, but it felt like I was working very hard for it, and I knew that there were other ways to sort of scale without, working so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like the income wasn't representative of the hours I was putting in, and I knew, it's an industry that's very easily scalable, so I wanted to unlock that.
Good awareness, that like noticing the same, because I'm sure if, many people on this call looked at their income over the past 5 years, it most likely hasn't moved much, maybe 5, 10%. So that's your first indication of being stuck.
Hmm.
Really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's good. And so then the awareness that, okay, I want to do better. I know I can do better, but I don't want to do it with working harder. And so there must be a better way.
Yeah, there must be a better way. And like, I know what it is to feel like in vibration and in connection with what you're doing. And I felt like I wasn't feeling connected. And I knew that if I could just get into that zone, it almost feels like a creation place, right? That I could have more fun and sort of just like unlock this life that I didn't think that I could have, or I didn't think I deserved. Right. And so looking for someone to give me permission to dream and to help me, focus that. Yeah.
That's so great. I can relate to what you're saying. It feels like when you're not in the creative vibration, like you say, it almost feels like you're forcing, doesn't it? Like it feels like you're trying to make things happen.
It's like in my gut, I knew that I could do more and be more and give more. And I knew that it didn't have to be this hard. I felt like I was creating sort of those circumstances too.
Yeah,
I
good.
knew that I had to work this hard, to be earning what I was earning.
So great. So what happened when we met and you said yes to TIR? What did you experience?
I was so good. It gave me permission to dream and to put like really writing out, who I wanted to be, what I wanted my life to look like, what I could do once I unlocked, that income and lifestyle, and, putting it out there. And it was like really the permission to dream, right? And to try and work through the guilt that I had about that, and a lot of the paradigms around money, and doing that work was really fundamental in sort of unlocking. I've just been a rocket since, so I just keep going and dreaming bigger and bigger.
I love it. So Alexandra says she's just been a rocket since. So it's like this whole new awareness opened up in you. And you're like, whoosh, see you later. Bye-bye. Like, oh, so what happened?
It's unbelievable to think it's only been about 2 years, but I tripled my income the first year after TIR. And then the second year, I tripled that income again. So I'm at 9 times my income from from when we met, which is crazy. And I have like completely changed my business model. So I'm now sort of, I have a team, a real estate team. I have 3 full-time agents and a full-time employee. And now I'm like sitting back more in a place of mentoring and coaching and like working with my dream clients. And it's just phenomenal. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
So I would like everyone on the call to do that math that Alex just said. So it's only been 2 years. So imagine 2 years from now, and you've 10 times the most you've ever earned in a year.
Yeah. Yeah. 9.5 times, whatever, 10, round it up.
Like $1 million movement.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I was the top agent in my brokerage last year, and I'm in the top 1% of all realtors in Toronto.
incredible.
Yeah.
So good. Everyone's just loving your story. Such a vibe. Now, did you ever, because I'm hearing from some people like, I got so much out of this week, I can probably go out and do it myself, because I've given them amazing tools, to step into who they truly are. Any advice on if someone's thinking that they could do it on their own, and maybe what you got from working with a mentor?
It's I lacked the discipline, and really to change your mindset and unlock those paradigms like takes a lot of work. It's not, you feel like you get it, and then a week later you're doing the same thing. And I'm still finding now, like, I have to keep coming back to this material because I find myself getting off track, and then my vibration's lowered, and I'm like, it feels like work, and I'm like, wait, I have the answer. I just need to come back to it. And so it's really a discipline you have to build. And it's very, very easy to like just, like discount it, right? And be like, oh, well, whatever, it's not working because it's stupid or whatever. Yeah. But you have to stay in the community, stay with the people, and get that support. And you have to believe it. And that's the thing that's hard. You think it's easy, but it's hard to believe it. And then once you truly do believe that, it's like you've unlocked the key of the universe. You're just like, oh, cool. I'm just going to create everything I want now. That's cool.
There are no limits. Like how
there are no limits, right? And like, yeah, even me before this call, I was like, man, I haven't been doing gratitude lately. I really need to get back into that. And, the business is growing so quickly. And so you run up into fear, right? And so you need the support of a mentor and stuff to help you get past that, because I'm like, oh, I'm spending so much on this business, but like, I believe it's going to come back to me tenfold because I've seen it before. So
yeah, that's awesome. And the tools that you get inside the program, they never go away. So Alexandra is saying, like, she just, when she notices in her body that doubt's there, or worry or fear, and then you can go back to your tools and you know exactly what lesson to go to get it. And now don't you find you're like coaching yourself? Like you don't, everything's there. So you can just,
it's there, but I still need to follow you on social media to remind myself every day.
Oh, I love you. And I want to shout out to Alex's red lipstick.
Oh yes, I had to. You have to. I was like, this is who I am today. Yes.
Oh, good. So good. So thank you, Alex, for sharing your story. Could you imagine if you didn't say yes to this? I know you were a fast yes. You jumped in and played full out right from the beginning, but what if you didn't? Where do you think you'd be?
I think I'd be pretty much in the same place. And be, stuck. Like I'm so grateful for what the last 2 years has unlocked for me and the type of lifestyle. Like I just bought a house. I'm 32 and I own 3 properties in Toronto. Like that's crazy. Like if you told me that 2 years ago, I would have been like, nah. But like you absolutely can. And I wrote it out like that first week with you. This is the house in the neighborhood that I want to buy, and I bought that house this week, right?
Oh, congratulations.
Not this week, sorry, this month.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good. Of course you did. Like when I hear wins like this, you guys, I know what Alex is capable of. I know what each of you listening is capable of. And so in my mind, I'm just like, yeah, of course, this is what Alex is doing.
Yeah. And one of the greatest gifts is just like how much I'm able to give as well. And, I'm doing a lot of work in the community, and like I have a listing upcoming where I'm donating all of my commission to the food bank where I volunteer. And that feels so good that I can give away like such a big paycheck without fear, because I know there's so much more out there. And I know that I'm like contributing and helping and like, putting that energy back into the community. So that's been the biggest gift. Like 2 years ago, if you're like, you're going to give away your commission, I wouldn't have, because I was too scared. I was like, no, I need this. I don't know where it's going to come from, and now it's just like, absolutely, give, give, and you shall receive.
That's so cool. Yeah, I just got shivers as you were sharing that. That's a huge difference in the feeling of who you are. You said 2 years ago you wouldn't have even thought of it because you would have been worried about where the next paycheck was going. And I was saying this on a call earlier this week, that I was the same way, that I needed all the money that I was earning.
Yeah.
And so when you're in that position, I was saying it's actually like selfish to be there because you're only thinking of you and your own needs. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I had to turn this idea of being rich was selfish. Instead, it's the opposite, the complete opposite. Because we think like money's a magnifier, so you can have such a bigger impact. That was a huge shift for me. I know it was similar for you, letting go. You said letting go of the guilt of earning the money.
Yeah. And it's still something I run up against, and it's like a paradigm I'm still working through. But like my end goal is to be a philanthropist, right? Like that's the dream, like to be in a place where I can just spend all of my time helping other people. So that's sort of what I'm keeping as I keep moving forward through this.
And in order to do that, Alex, you've got to put your own oxygen mask on first. You've got to continue to study you and be willing to dream big, really big.
Yeah. That's a lesson I learned. I forgot my own oxygen mask through all of this. So now I'm really focusing. It's like, okay, I'm back to the drawing table, rewriting it. Like now this life has balance and harmony and love and, all of those things. And I'm stepping into that. So it's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so inspiring and sharing your story here with all of these listeners. People are saying they got shivers that they want to give away freely too. And that's what I want to say to all of you. Like Alex is here sharing her story. She just took the coaching. She's just applying the material and learning. And if she can do it, you can too. And that's really what I'm hoping that you get from these stories, that we're just like normal girls, that decided to want more.
Yeah.
Really, and to go for it.
And to give yourself permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have the courage to really declare it. Well, congratulations on your $1 million year, Alexandra, and all your success. And think of this, every year you've been tripling your income.
I know.
Millions this year. So
I'm on my way to Oprah. I just want to be like, you get a house and you get a house.
I love it. Well, you are so inspiring. Thank you so much for being here and for your time. I know you're super busy and you with your team. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.